OpenAI says GPT-5.6 is a leap forward in front-end design. I believe it is better than GPT-5.5. But after using it for real front-end work, I still do not think it is good at choosing a visual direction. It can build a polished, functional page that I still would not have designed. The layout looks intentional. The code is usually solid. But the visual direction is often not the one I would have chosen. So I tried two different ways to give 5.6 better taste. First, I used Zhang's taste skill repository. It is a serious attempt to give a coding agent a design process, rather than just asking it to make a page look better. The skill reads the product, audience, brand signals, references, and constraints. It writes a one-line design read, sets levels for visual variation, motion, and density, then adds implementation guidance and a final pre-flight check. That process may still be useful. It can make work more disciplined, more consistent, and easier to check. But what I really wanted to know was whether I could see this effect in the design, and whether I preferred the result to a bare-bone GPT 5.6. So what I did is I started with 5 matched pairs. Each pair would get the same product brief. One page was built with taste and one without it. Then I was looking at the results and was trying to identify which method made which page. I got 3 out of 5 right. This was supposed to not be a preference test. I tried not to pick which one I liked most out of each pair. This experiment only really told me that the taste skill made for a recognizable effect, while a plain 5.6 site could also easily be mistaken for the specialized one. Then I did another test, where I wanted to make a website for a company called Fathom House, which was a fictional 12-room hotel. Once again, I thought of one description, but then this time I tried 3 different methods. The first one was just out of the box GPT 5.6. The second one got the taste skill. The third came from a tip I had seen. Generate a target image, build the page, compare the real screenshot with the target, list every concrete difference, apply the changes, and repeat. So what I tried to do is have one kind of main agent, one description, and then have one sub-agent run per method. The point of this was not to get a scientific comparison, but to kind of get a gut feeling for what I would prefer and if this is anything I could keep working with. So when I did my blind test, the plain version and the taste version were extremely close to me. Like both of those looked very good to me. Obviously, I didn't know at the time which ones were using what approach. But interesting enough, I did have a slight preference for the plain version, the one that didn't use any additional skills or approach. The one that used that image-led approach came last for me. So that tip really didn't do anything with me. Again, just having this one example. That does not disprove taste, and it does not prove the plain brief always wins. In this one comparison, neither added method improved my preference. But when I looked at the image loop again, it was doing what I had asked. The hero became shorter. The room images became more panoramic for some reason. The booking area got tighter unnecessarily. On mobile, the room section appeared earlier. Across the revision rounds, GPT 5.6 kept finding visible gaps and moving the implementation closer to the target. So the loop had not failed to follow its own reference, it just had followed it too well. The problem was that I had never approved the targets. With this approach, the image model had chosen a visual direction, and then every correction after that pushed the page further into that choice. Again, a choice I didn't make. I had let an image model choose the design. then judged GPT 5.6 on how well it followed the choice. So better matching its original vision did not repair the initial decision. So I think what I'm trying to say with this is that screenshot comparisons can still be useful. It just works better after a person has decided that the reference is worth following. So what I wanted to try next is basically be in the loop in an earlier stage, not have the image model choose a decision. So the way I wanted to go about this is using a website called Mobbin, which is a library of real product screens and screenshots. And what's really cool is that it also has an integration that lets your coding agents search the library and receive those screens directly. But the most useful part for me is that I can choose a picture, a reference, and then give that to the agent. So I can visually scroll through the library and then see what kind of matches what I have in my mind and then give that to the agent. I can collect 3 to 6 examples and say exactly what should transfer. Maybe the hierarchy from one, the density from another, or the way the third screen handles navigation. I also tell it specifically what not to use. I have not tested that Mobbin workflow in this comparison, so I cannot call it a demonstrated win. It is the next method I want to try because this experiment showed that GPT 5.6 follows a visible target well. So once I've chosen a direction using Mobbin screenshots or maybe just explaining it myself, GPT 5.6 can interpret those references and build the actual product and interface. It can then compare the real render, the thing it actually made, with my inputted image and direction, and then compare those two and fix the differences. I still need a separate browser check for responsive behavior, interactions, accessibility, and the real content. Because a page matching very closely what I inputted doesn't mean it properly works. So I guess what I'm basically trying to say is that I don't need GPT 5.6 to originate and approve the whole visual direction. I think it's not very good at that. What I do need it to do is turn a direction I have selected into working code and then take exact feedback and refine the results into the best end result. OpenAI's improvement claim can be true without making GPT 5.6 the designer.